Welcome everyone to la chaîne géopolitique. So we will talk today about the third failed attempt about a ceasefire in the Nagorny-Karabakh region. So we will see how come a third attempt has already failed and how come such results. That's the purpose of this video. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from Azerbaijan and from Armenia went to Washington last week to meet the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to agree about a ceasefire in this region. So we have to keep in mind that already two ceasefires have been already set up, have been already agreed under the mediation of the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, namely Sergei Lavrov. But those two ceasefires have failed due to the ongoing hostilities between both parties. We cannot determine exactly who are violating this ceasefire. It seems that both parties are violating them. So, taking into account, taking into notice that those two ceasefires have failed, Mike Pompeo tried to, under his mediation, to bring a successful ceasefire. But it seems that a couple of hours after the ceasefire entered into force, some hostilities were reported with a very high casualties they stole. So it seems that also American, like Russian, failed to bring peace in this region. And so how come it's possible that those mediation are failing? The reason probably is that we can, let's say, we can rise. It's like probably that Azeri militaries wants to advance as quickly as possible and to continue the gain of territories that they are now doing. We have to keep in mind that right now it's very clear from a military point of view that Azerbaijan is gaining some territory, especially on the southern part of the Nagorny-Karabakh region, because the objective of the Azeri military is to take control of the Lachin corridor. What is this Lachin corridor? Just I put a bracket to say to you that we will make a video. Next video we will bring some maps, because also it's much more clear when we bring some maps. But at this stage I will just explain you the stakes, how it could come, and in another video we will try to show on maps exactly how come all those regions in map. So right now the Azerbaijan would like to cut, let's say, the supplying road between Armenia and Nagorny-Karabakh, because you have to keep in mind that Nagorny-Karabakh does not have a continuous territory with Armenia. Between both Armenia and Karabakh territory, which is the secessionist territory, there is the Azeri territory. And so basically the Azeri military would like, let's say, to cut this supply road between Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh in order, let's say, that this region will not, the military supplies will be cut, and like that Armenia or the Karabakh soldiers could not continue the war over Azerbaijan. That's why, simply speaking, Azerbaijan is not interested in stopping this war. Probably Armenia is much more interested in stopping this war, because it seems that the Armenian is not able to face the Azeri advance. So what we see, it's like an advance for the Azeri military. And as I said, this advance is occurring on the southern part of the Nagorno-Karabakh. Or you have to keep in mind also that on the southern part of this territory there is the Iranian borders, and the Armenian army and the Karabakh army try to launch some missiles towards those soldiers, Azeri soldiers who are on the southern part, and some of those missiles fall into the Iranian territories. So far, they have not, no casualties have been reported, but the Iranian Foreign Ministry has warned both parties that in case that those missiles continue falling into the Iranian territory, Iran will intervene, the Islamic Republic of Iran will intervene in this territory, so meaning that this the direct war between Azerbaijan and Armenia will have another player into this war, meaning Iran. Besides that, another fourth player could enter into this war over the next days, which is Russia, because you have to keep in mind that in order to capture the Lachin corridors that we have just referred a couple of minutes ago, which is a supply road between Armenia and Karabakh, you have the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan, which is under threat due to this offensive. So, simply speaking, Russia does not want to intervene into this war due to the fact that Russia, like Armenia also actually, do not recognize the territory of Karabakh. So for Russia, the defense pact with Armenia does only concern the internationally recognized territory of Armenia. So in other words, if Azerbaijan threatens this territory of Armenia with this current offensive, Russia will intervene into the conflict. So that's why at this stage, Russian soldiers have been sent to the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan in order that those Azeri soldiers do not enter or threat the territory of Armenia. So we see that there is very high risk also that Russia could intervene over the next days in this conflict. So it means that this simple direct conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia could derail into a regional war over the next days. So it means that the scale of this war would be totally different, much more broader. At this stage, we have to keep in mind that after 5 weeks of hostilities, probably 5,000 people have been killed, civilian plus soldiers included. So it means that it is a very deadly conflict. I would like to remind that during 90s, when this Nagorny war erupted after the fall of the Soviet Union, 30,000 people died after 3 years of war. After 5 weeks, we have already 5,000 war. So it means that this death toll of 30,000 could be reached over the next week if this intensity of the war continues. So we see that it's a very intensive war, very deadly war, and could become a regional war over the next days. And that's why I would like just to underline that this Nagorny-Karabakh, even though it's a very isolated region, it's actually has a lot of geopolitical impact at stake, and that's why we will continue talking about it. And as I just said in this video, we will try to use maps next time in this video to really understand what are all the stakes of this war through maps.